Hello everyone, welcome to Roto-Moulding Leadership Program. This is a conversation with rotation molding business leaders. This is simply an MBA, mini MBA class. You can say crash course. We learn from the roto-molding leaders, their experiences, their management practices, their challenges, the lessons they learn, and also their vision through this program. For today, we have Mr. Horacio Lobo. Is a founder of the Versaplas based in Mexico. We're on episode number 7. So we'll be having a conversation with Mr. Horacio about all his journey. So before I invite him to join this session, let me introduce a little bit about the Technobiz. As you know, this program is managed and promoted by the Technobiz. Let me give you a short presentation on the Technobiz. Technobiz is based in Thailand, established in 2005. It is recognized as the International Resource Center for Industries and Technologies, and the main focus of the business, and we start with professional education, and then we offer a number of the business services. When it comes to services, we host trade exhibitions, training conferences, virtual events, business networks, publications. We do also taking consulting, factory audits, and knowledge text, etc. It's all to do related to the professional education and also the business service. When it comes to the business focus, we are not just only in the plastics, we're actually in the whole polymer industry, rubber, plastics, polyurethane, and also we have briefly on the non-polymer segment on the water treatment, energy environment, and also filtration separation. These are areas that we offer the services. Let's look into the, what we do for the roto-molding businesses and professionals. We have this roto-molding network, basically addressing the needs of the roto-molding industry and the Technobiz. First activity introduces a Roto-Moulding Trade Expo. This is an exhibition for the industry. Of course, we have whole supply chain and the products they display in this exhibition. We are hosting next year in Southeast Asia. In Thailand, 29 to 31st March, Southeast Asia Roto-Moulding Trade Expo. Then we also have the Middle East Roto-Moulding Trade Expo, which is on the 21st to 22nd November in Sharjah near to Dubai. So these are 2 trade exhibitions we host. Of course, we have various booth packages, so people can choose to exhibit not only the technologies and also the products as well. And we have a Roto-Molding Masterclass. We have developed a 2-day masterclass by Mr. Martin Spencer. This program is called the Rotational Molding Technology and Practice. This program is a 2-day long, covering only A to Z about roto-molding. We have a basics, raw materials, design of molds, machinery aspects, product design, control, decoration, and also automation aspect, and also including the advances in the roto-molding. And this year we are offering it 2 schedules, one in October next month, and also we have a schedule in November. So I welcome you all to to choose this program to improve your skills. It's useful for both engineers, even the managers. It covers for the people inexperienced and also useful for the experienced people as well. So we also have this service for roto-molding plant audit and training, which includes the training and also a process audit. If you're interested, you can check the details with me. And we have a roto-molding business forum. This is once 2 times a year we host this event, basically to update on the technical and market developments on the roto-molding industry. The delegates participation is free. The next one coming up is on the 7th of December. It's an online event as well. Of course, we look for the sponsors to participate in this business forum. And this is like today, the roto-molding leadership. It's all about learn from the experienced people. Who has 30, 40, 50 years in the roto-molding industry. So much to learn from these experienced people. So for that purpose, and we started this Roto-Moulding leadership. I thank Martin Spencer to be part of developing this program together. So these are all these experts. We'll be inviting many more from the different parts of the world. It's not just one region. We're covering all the continents for this program. We have Roto-Moulding research. This is focused on inviting the researchers to introduce their latest development on the research. This is an online event. All the subscribers of the Technobiz program can join this one. And we have a newsletter, a weekly newsletter. And also we have the Roto-Moulding Business Connect, basically to promote the branding, marketing and the branding of the companies, the technologies through the social media platforms. So currently we have this program is followed by around 1,030 rotation molding professionals across the world. Some of them join live, some of them join mostly on the record session. And so these are all the activities that they can participate. And also we offer the various sponsorship and advertisement opportunities for the interested companies on these platforms which we host. We're active on the social media, Facebook or LinkedIn or WhatsApp or Twitter. So through our Roto-Moulding network, and all our programs that we host, you may find many of them on YouTube. Okay, you can go to our Technobiz channel, you can review them. All the Roto-Moulding leadership past programs are available on the YouTube as well. Okay, so feel free to check it out whenever you find the time. So that's a link address for you. Okay? We are associated with the Society of Asian Roto-Molders as a strategic partner. So we welcome you to be part of this society, this professional body, and for all the Roto-Mold professionals as well as the companies. You can check more details about the starasia.org. And they are hosting a 19th annual conference in January, in next year, 28 to 30 January in New Delhi. So they have presentations, conference presentations, or workshops, and also trade show and a lot of network events. So I welcome you all to participate this event in New Delhi during the 28 to 30 January. You can check more details about it at starasia.org, or you can write an email to them. So that's about the STAR event. Okay? For any other information about Technobiz or other activities, feel free to contact me. I think most of you have my contact information. Okay, that's briefly about Technobiz. So if you see, Technobiz is specialized in organizing events. It's basically a resource center. So there's a lot we plan to do, and we welcome you all the input in case that you think you need support from Technobiz. Okay, let's get into today's session. I invite our host, Martin Spencer. This Roto-Moulding leadership program is basically developed by the Martin Spencer, and I'm really thankful to Martin. Yes, I think most of you know Martin is well-experienced Roto-Moulding specialist. Martin, over to you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this, which is now our 7th leadership session. In these discussions, we look how our subjects have entered the industry, the problems they've encountered, their successes, and their thoughts about the future. We hope to give you an overall picture of the roto-moulding industry, particularly for our participants that are new to this sector, but also give insight and ideas to those that are already involved. Today, we will be talking to Horacio Lobo from Versaplas in Mexico. And perhaps we could look at a short video to show you the sort of products that are being made by Versaplas in Mexico at the moment. Okay, so that's great. So now I would like to welcome Horacio to join us for our discussion. Hi, Horacio.
Hi, Martin. Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good night.
Around the world, it is all the times, I think. It is good to see you. So let us start. Tell us a little bit about why you started in roto-moulding. Did you choose it as a process for something you needed to make, or did roto-moulding sort of drag you in because it was something that interested you?
I believe the second one.
Yeah.
It was like an accident when I met a Roto-Moulding. It was really, really small company. And I was in a different field, making plating bumpers for cars. And we needed a big container to get a finished wash. Then I met Roto-Moulding. I went with them and I talked about to make that container for us. 4 or 5 months later, we couldn't go forward with that project. And then the owner called me, the Ingeniero Rafael Ortiz, called me and say, hey, what happened with the container? Because if you don't need it, I am ready to shut down the company. I say, no way. The process looks perfect. So he invited me to work with Roto-Moulding, and then for the next 20 years, since 1982. Great experience.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit about Roto-Moulding then? Roto-Moulding was your first company before you started Versaplas, which is your company now. So tell us a little bit more about Roto-Moulding.
Well, Roto-Moulding was one of the first roto-molding companies in Mexico, really in the beginnings. They bought 2 small machines, really rock and roll. And when I say really, because all the movements, you needed to push it with your hands to go up the machine, to go down, while a small engine was spinning. And we could make very, very simple containers. Later on, we began to make bigger parts or more complicated with leads and so on. But it was the beginning. It was great. But, you know, I have an explanation what happened, and I prepare a video, PowerPoint to show you faster, and I think will be easier to explain everyone. If you
Okay, good. Let's look at your presentation then. Yeah.
Please, thank you. The background of Roto-Moulding, and I will talk in the way that what's behind a great success. Roto-Moulding was one of the biggest companies in Mexico, but what was before and what were the obstacles to be there? Next. I explained that I began in 1982 and nothing happened from 82 to 90. Well, happened many things, but not for growth. But then from 1990 to 1994, we grew from 13 people to more than 2,000 employees. Our consumption of resin grew from 20 tons to 1,300 tons a month. So we have a very small plant, but later on we had 11 manufacturing plants in Mexico and South America. And from nobody knew the brand, we became the leader brand in the market. And we also became the biggest roto-molding group in Latin America and 4th worldwide. Next. What happened then? Well, talking about water tanks, in 1990, when we began to make water tanks, all the market was dominated by asbestos, let's say 95% of this market. And another 5%, they were taken by fiberglass. But things changed rapidly. When we began to offer our water tanks on the market in the first year in 1991, we took 5% of the market. Then, but next year, 92, we took 20% of the market. And nobody saw that. And when I mean nobody, mainly the asbest cement company didn't care about it. They thought that the market slowed down or whatever. You know, they are huge, big companies, mainly in Europe. But by 1993, we took 50% of the market. Then they say, what's happening? Well, we discovered that there are some plastic tanks on the market, but we don't believe they will last. So don't worry. Then next year, 1994, we took 95% of the market. Then no way to go back for asbestos. They decide to not to make more tanks, asbestos tanks, and they began to make it in plastic, but I think like 5 years later than 94, maybe close to 2000, and I believe too late. Next. What's the market today? Now we have more than 100 companies in the Roto-Moulding market in Mexico, more than 80 different water tank brands. The rest of those are but for different products, but not in big markets. We have more than 4,000, and I believe now more than 5,000 jobs created just for Roto-Moulding. And the average of water tanks produced annually is more than 1,200,000 tanks per year. That means more than 100,000 tons of polyethylene consumed annually. Next. So the other story. Well, I joined Rotoplas in May of 1982. Same year, we had a big devaluation, more than 100%, but the worst, a currency exchange control. We couldn't get dollars to pay for the resin. Also, inflation were over 180% per year, and with a lot of import restrictions. By 1983, also a fire accident in the company made us start over. Sometimes I call Rotoplas like the phoenix, the bird, phoenix, because we burn again from the ashes. So we were struggling to survive for almost 8 years. Next. Also, our president in that time was in front of time, but talking about Mexico's crisis. We are in an emergency, but also our company was. Next. Well, by 1984, we saw that we had a chance to make some water tanks. And because we are so smart, so brilliant, we designed water tanks conical. I mean, to make it stackable, to make it cheaper to storage, and to send many tanks one into the other for transportation. Great idea for us, but really not for the users. I will explain that next. We began to face many problems on the market. On awareness of the benefits of plastic, people say, what? Why do I need to change from asbestos to plastic? Also, our competition began to block our sales, offering, they have a big net on the market, so they were talking bad about plastics. Also, the lack of understanding of user needs and perceptions. I explained before that we decided to make the product stackable, but who cares for the last user? The water tank will be on top of the roof. You don't need to stackable again for the rest of the life. So we got a beautiful reaction in the market. So we need to go back and to start again. Next. So we learned that we needed to analyze very well for decision making. So we removed this product from the market. We began to analyze the problem, and we understood that we needed to change perception of plastic, because for people, plastic meant in that time short life, mean also cheap substitute, but also the big advantage being flexible for users, meaning deformable. And because we made it in black, people thought that the water were going to be hot. So with all those problems, we needed to work a lot. Next. To achieve acceptance, we learned that we needed to talk with people from the government, the main representatives. We needed to talk with end user representatives and also reliable public figures. But also, we needed to talk with and convince institutions like Housing Ministry, Health Ministry, Consumer Protection Agency, and competition. Next.
Horatio, just a quick question.
Yes.
So for all this time, between 1982 and 1990, when you finally launched your main product, how was the company surviving? Were you not making anything, or were you making just low quantities of the original tanks?
Good question. We were making everything. I had friends, they say, I need some garbage cans. I will make the mold and I will make you 200 pieces, but I will help you. And they helped me. So we were just surviving, making different products. And when we had the water tank ready, we also had more than 100 different products, different molds, a lot of investments, but no one was for a good business.
Okay, so you were working all this time to get the water tank ready for market and surviving on small jobs for friends in the meantime, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, let's continue with your presentation.
Thank you. So next. So the main obstacle we found when we think that water tank could be the best product for the market, it was that in Mexico, we had only one standard for water tanks. And that standard, we're talking about that your water tank needed to weigh at least 120 kilos. The wall thickness needed to be at least 15 millimeters and should be very rigid. So they were talking just about asbestos fiber, asbestos with cement. And when I went with the people and say, oh, but look, this product is better, but we don't have the approval to use it. So what we can do? Change the rules, change the standards. Seems easy, but for me was part of my life in Roto-Moulding. I decided to join ANIPAC, that is a National Plastic Association. When I joined with them, I promote to write the standards for plastic products. Then as an association, we had the right to be the leaders for that project. So we got from the government the leadership for this kind of work. And I took the construction division for plastic products. Then I began to invite people, to invite 22 different divisions into the market. I mean, government, industrials, suppliers, a lot of groups that needed to be involved for the standards. Then I needed to invite them every week to have sessions. It took 4 years of continuous session, working and working, and trying to avoid the blockage and delays, mainly from the lawyers of the competition, that they don't wanted plastic on the market. But we were moving all these obstacles, and little by little we were winning and advancing on the standards. And then at the end, we provoke that there is a company called, let me give you 1 second, the Consumer Protection Agency. We invite them to make a test of the water tanks. We pour double distillation water inside of the water tanks, and then after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, every week, we began to take samples of water. And what happened? The best quality of water came from plastic tanks. From that, we got the approval, we got the standards, and they approved for plastic. But also, in the meantime of those 4 years, we were designing different molds, investigation about blockage of sunlight, because sunlight produce algae, so that's the reason to make it in black. But black doesn't like nice, so we began to make it in 2 layers, then 3 layers, and testing those products. So by the end of 1990, when the standard was ready, we also were ready to target the market. Next.
Just one other question about that as well, Horacio. During all this time, when you were doing this work and investing all your time and money, did you ever lose faith? Did you ever think you would never get a plastic water tank to market and make money from it? And did you perhaps think it was time to do something else?
Well, that's next slide. I think I was the only one thinking that could be a success. Even my partners told me, forget it. Next, please. Forget it. It's losing your time. So shareholders pressure me to abandon the project. But I was just behind them, working and working, because I knew it was almost the end of the end and ready to success. Finally, we got the approval of the standards in 1989, and we launched the product in 1990. So for me, stubbornness became persistence. Next. Now this is the result. I'm very happy to see that. Nobody likes black on top of the houses, on the roof, but I love it. This is a great. It looks like my son's daughter, my kids. So now everywhere in Mexico and later on in most of the developing countries, you may see this kind of image. Next. But okay, we got the standard, we got the approval, but then we had new challenges. First, connecting. We needed to connect with the end users. We began to learn about them and understand them in order to convince and captivate them. It wasn't easy. It was a lot of work, a lot of meetings. Also, we didn't know where was the right end user. So we began to target him through distributors, retailers, plumbers, but also very important, housewives. They live at home, and when they didn't have water, they request a water tank immediately, same day. Also, we learned that we needed to differentiate our product. We began to offer more than competition. We offer warranty and service. Home delivery, I mean to deliver our products to their suppliers, because before asbestos, when they had the monopoly, they say, if you want water tanks, come to my facilities 5 o'clock in the morning with your huge trucks, wait in line, and we may put our water tanks in your trucks. So we offer service, product replacement. We were confident that our product didn't fail, and we also offer quick response. Next. So we were growing, but the problem is to grow without losing control. So we needed to grow also with our organization inside. Selecting. We were recruiting and training the right people. Just think about that. We were growing for one plant every year, and we needed, and I explained that, from 13 to 2,000 people. We also had, I may say that we were making tanks. We produced tanks, but we began to produce machinery. We began to produce our molds. I may say we were also producing our people. We had like a school inside training people. Then we needed to produce more efficiently and closer to the customers. You know, water tanks is just volume, and volume means very expensive for transport. We only could place 52 tanks in the huge trucks. So we began to place companies closer to the markets. That's why we placed 7 companies into Mexico. So we were making more machines, more molds, local trained personnel, and strategic alliances also with our suppliers, because growing means also money, investments. Next. Look at the size of the trucks. We began also making those trucks. We have 52 trucks like that just to place all the products. At the end of in 2000, when I left Roto-Moulding, we were selling more than 60,000 tanks a month. Next.
Just a question on that, Horacio. Did you, when you started, did you just make tanks in one size, or did you make a whole range of different sizes?
We began with 3 sizes, planning that, like asbestos, 1,100 liters was the most popular. We began with that size, but inside of the standards, we saw that we needed to supply to 150 liters per person in every home. So the average of people in a house is 4 people. That means 600 liters, 5 people, 750, whatever. But we began with 3 sizes.
Okay, and then you moved on to other sizes later, or did you stick with the 3 sizes as your main sellers?
No, we were checking the market, talking with the people, as I explained, understanding their needs, and they say, well, we just need a very small one, 450 liters, perfect, we will make molds for you. We need also a bigger tank. We began to make it to put it underground. Underground, 2,500, 5,000, and 10,000.
Okay, carry on with your presentation.
Next. So what was the strategy to success? I may say by choosing. I explained before that we had more than 100 products, but we choose one that could have the best chance to survive. Also creating and adapting this product for a new market. Developing a top of mind position in end users. People didn't know what brand was in every roof, but we began to have a lot of advertising to get this top of mind. And also the involvement with clients, suppliers, and authorities. Next. Also, commitment all the way, starting from personnel to end users. Perseverance, that's a small difference between stubbornness and persistence. That means success. And ground your feet. Be sure to have the right parameters to evaluate and defend your project. All these different steps help you to success in your strategy. Next. But is that the unique case? Everybody say, oh, water tanks is a great business because every house needs one per home. And no, not only one, they have 2 and 3. I have 3 in my home already. But when you ask how many homes have dogs, almost everyone. So you may sell 1 kennel per home. Or how many plants are there per home? It's just a matter of finding the right niche to satisfy a need. Next. So opportunities. Innovate. There are so many opportunities as ideas you are willing to develop. You need to analyze your products and competitors. Is there any way you can differentiate from them? Or these possibilities are developing a new product? Always take some risk. And it is important to connect with your customers, learn from them, and adapt your product to their need. I may say that every product we made, I was the first user to be sure it was working properly. Next. So don't forget, you can achieve all this through Roto-Moulding. And continue and persist in your dreams. Dreams is the most important, all of them. So good luck, and you may do it. Okay, that's it.
Okay, that's given us a good insight into how you started and made a huge success of the company with Roto-Moulding. But then in 2000, you decided it was time to leave Roto-Moulding, and you started yet another new company with your family, with your son and your daughter. This company is Versaplas. So now let us talk a little about Versaplas and how your family became involved in that. And perhaps your daughter would like to join us as well to make sure we get the story right.
Okay. Well,
hi, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Okay, tell us about Versaplas and starting a company with your family after you had sold your shares in Roto-Moulding.
Well, Martin, if I may say something.
Yeah, sure.
Versaplas was not the first company where we worked together.
Okay.
We had a complete experience since Rotoplas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I saw the images, the slides, and it just brought back so many memories because my brother and I, we were involved, as well as my mom, in every way throughout the process in Rotoplas, supporting my dad. Even though we were very little, I have so many memories. Like my scooter was the manual forklift inside the company. And my brother and I, we used to play inside the carton boxes of the resins, and we made houses out of it.
Yeah,
Or
I think we have a photograph of that we can show you.
that would be nice. Yeah. So we worked there during our summers. So we learned about roto-molding since we were very little. Yeah, that's
So
the picture. And you know what, Martin? You realize you're the daughter or the son of a roto-molder when you realize that everywhere you go, you are on the lookout for roto-molded products. And where all your vacations or your photo albums have photos of you and your family, but they also have photos of roto-molded products inside the family photo album. So
I
yes,
know this.
everywhere we go, we are on the lookout for roto-molded products. So I just realized I am the daughter of a true roto-molder. There I find myself touching the products, and when you say yes, this is roto-molded one piece, that's the key word. Like, and yeah, it's been a long journey. Versaplas is really different from Rotoplas, and I would need to give a lot more credit to my brother because he's the director from Versaplas, and he basically started the company along with my dad and me, but he had his hands on everything, and he did it from scratch. He was still in college, and he went to school and also started the company. And if there's something we've learned from my dad since Rotoplas is that you treat your employees as people. So we've always known the workers, the people, and we care about them. And it would be amazing. You saw how my dad said that at first there were only 13 people, and then the company grew to 2,000. And I have so many examples in mind, but I'd like to say one specific example of a worker. Did you see the trucks? And the trucks were made to carry the water tanks. There was this driver, Pilar Alcantara, may he rest in peace. He was so thankful to my dad and so loyal because at the end it was very hard work, and as my dad said, a survival for the company until it became a success. And it's really nice to know that the people that were involved in the process were very thankful to him, very loyal, and respected him. And this person specifically went to visit my dad on his birthday for maybe more than 30 years and brought him a present. And it was just like pay his respects because he admired him so much, and he was thankful that he became also a successful person by working in Rotoplas. And he did this kind of ritual every year on my dad's birthday until he unfortunately passed away. But I think this is like a really nice teaching because there are different kinds of leadership. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, they're just different. And I've learned from my dad this kind of leadership where you treat your people as equal. Everybody has their own responsibilities, but if you work together, everything becomes a complete network, and that's how a company functions. It's not functioning because of the owner or one person or the salesperson. You need everybody inside to work harmoniously, and to be loyal to the company is very important. And I think he achieved that by his leadership.
Okay, that's good to hear. So with when you started Versaplas, what products have you got in mind to manufacture? Because it seems to be a very different company with a wide range of products and not concentrating just on water tanks. Yeah?
Okay. I think that there is one step that we miss now. I left Rotoplas in 2000, planning to retire 20 years ago. So after 3 months, I was taking out my eyes. So, but I also signed an agreement not to compete for 3 years. But at the end of these 3 years, I was invited to develop new companies from the government. And I had in mind already that we needed something better for Roto-Moulding. So that's when I decided to design and build ovens instead of open flame machines. With the great help of great masters and doctors in different technologies, I had that great opportunity to leader them and to design the best oven possible. Some of the oven manufacturers say, hey, you are copying our product. I say, no, we are checking your product and checking your fails. And we are improving every single part of your machine, but also from the others. So we got a really, really good ovens. As an example, we were checking competitors' oven with more than 70 degrees of difference inside of the oven. 70 degrees difference temperature. So that's why we call our oven the even oven machine, because we only got 7 degrees difference between inside of the oven. That kind of things. So that's why in 2005 we showed this oven in the Chicago exhibition. The first one, it's called also Roto-Plus show. I agreed to with ARM to use the Roto-Plus name, so that's why the show is called Roto-Plus. So we went there with 2005 with our oven, and people like it. We sold very few of them, and that's why also this opportunity, or as is in the picture on the right with me, he told me, hey, please don't sell more ovens, because I wasn't selling oven. I wasn't selling business. We offer the ovens with ideas and molds, so people could start with a product for a market. Horacio told me, hey, you don't need to offer all these good ideas. So he told me, stop doing it. Let's start with a company. Then we start with Versaplas, and we began with 3 ovens. That's the history of the beginning of Versaplas.
Okay. So, but also at this time, or a little bit later, you started another company, sort of selling accessories and other components to roto-molders. I think you did this in cooperation with North Star in America. Is that right?
Yes, and I think Jimena may explain that better than me, because she's in charge of this steel business.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that business? Jimena? Hi.
Yeah, sure. Yes, as my dad said, we had a strong alliance with North Star, and yeah, I'm in charge of the distribution of roto-molding accessories. But you know what, Martin? The market in Mexico and Latin America, they're not used to investing in technology, buying tools for operating them. They just buy the products, and all the tools they need, they make them in-house. They figure out they need a spatula, a tube, venting, whatever. And most of them, instead of investing them, some of them don't want to invest, and some of them, they don't even know there's this technology or this simple tool that can help make the process better and reduce rejections, for example, for the product. So yes, we have been struggling with that a little bit, for convincing companies to try these products, but most of them, they don't even know how to use them. Yeah. So I guess there's a lot of ignorance in the market regarding that, and there's a lot of opportunities and work to do.
Yeah, I think going forwards that will change as they begin to grow as companies and become more experienced. They will begin to appreciate that technology. You see that in different areas of the world when you travel around. I've been traveling to Asia for a long time. And when I first started going 20 years ago, everything they were doing was very crude. Yet now in India, there are some rotomolders producing products that are equivalent to anywhere in the world. And I think Latin America will be the same. I think Mexico is already heading that way, and the rest of Latin America must follow. Well, thank you for that insight. Horacio, perhaps we can talk generally a bit more about Roto-Moulding now rather than your particular companies. What do you see as the particular strengths of Roto-Moulding, and also possibly what its weaknesses are compared with other plastic processes?
Well, the strength of Roto-Moulding, I think we all know, is you can make a huge, big parts that there is no other process that you can do it. After, well, no, I think they are making blow molding water tanks in 10,000 liters and also 2 or 3 layers. But after that, 20,000, 40,000, and also 80,000 liter tanks is only made by Roto-Moulding. Well, you can do it in fiberglass, but take weeks or also a month to do it. So we had a great opportunity for big sizes products. Also, a great strength is that it's a low-cost production, and you can make short runs because tooling and machinery is not as expensive as blow molding or even injection molding. So there is a great opportunity. Also, I believe that big sizes and very light products are very expensive for transport. So that makes that your market becomes local.
Mm-hmm.
You get covered by itself, and you don't get easy competition from other countries in your area. So it's a good strength also. But for weakness, I may say that the process is hard to control. So it's easy, you get a shrinkage, but you cannot control very well the shrinkage. Sometimes it's 2%, sometimes it's 4.5%. And when you need precision parts, it's really hard to do it. Also, you get uneven wall thickness in your walls, and you can make your only products that they don't request high tolerances. Also, it's labor intense, and the environment that on the companies are normally very hot, and people don't like it much. So you may lose a lot of workers quite easy and often. That's what I say about the strength and weakness of Roto-Moulding.
Okay, and in your particular market in Mexico and Latin America, obviously water tanks was a great success for you as a main product. But now with Versaplas and with other companies in Mexico, what other products are important? What other products are coming along behind water tanks for Roto-Moulding?
Well, not many. If we talk about big volumes or high quantities, water tanks is still the biggest one, but the second biggest market is road barriers for construction. Mm-hmm. We see every day more and more on the roads, and could be also maybe 40% of the resin consumer is just for road barriers. There are few in planters, few in toys that I cannot say how many, but no more than 5% from the rest of the consumer.
Okay, and what about competition? Do you have problems with competition trying to undercut the prices with lower quality items? And does that affect the market in Latin America?
Well, there is always a problem with copycats. You spend money to invest, to investigate, to design, and then you put a product on the market. then 2 months later, some copycat comes with a cheaper product. But what I believe is that besides of the price is the quality, service, and your name, your guarantee. And with that, you may, ¿cómo se dice? But work against copycats.
Right. Okay.
Even if the product is the most expensive on the market, you could be the leader when you cover the rest of the service.
Do you find the copycats never quite get the product right? They always miss some vital details, so their products don't tend to work as well as the original product unless they have designed them from scratch. So if they are copying, they never quite understand the product properly. Is that true?
I normally see that copycats try to copy, but they don't even understand why there is a hole, or is a deep, or there is a corner. So they don't care, and they don't copy that is important, or they copy something that is not important.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Okay, so is roto-moulding a good, strong market in Mexico at the moment? Is it growing still?
I don't believe so. I believe the market is steady because it's mature, mainly in water tanks, mainly in barriers. So, and they still are focused in water tanks because it's very easy to make it in open flame. So I think there is a big opportunity in Mexico to grow with different products, different ideas for different markets.
Okay, do you think there's an opportunity for, say, automotive components to supply into the US market?
Well, now the US market is a great target. You know, now since the pandemic, we saw how the transportation cost with containers from Asia became from $2,000 to $25,000, and 3-4 weeks to arrive. And so also, I think there are some questions between the countries, and I see that many companies wanted to come closer to US. And Mexico, I think, is a great location. We are neighbors of the biggest market. We have 3,000 kilometers of border. We have a lot of companies sitting just on the border. We call them maquiladoras. Maquila means to make a product for someone else. And there are also many thousands of those for electronics and automotive parts, many things. Could be a great opportunity for plastic and also for roto-moulding.
Okay. So in your roto-moulding career, do you think there is one innovation or one particular piece of equipment that changed the way you manufactured or not? Do you think it was a slow process, or was it one moment or one innovation that changed things quite dramatically for you?
Well, I think research and development is key to success. We need to innovate. We need to always trying to find different ways to do it faster and better quality, maybe lighter, maybe, well, cheaper, but never talking about reducing quality.
Yeah. Okay, and obviously recently, certainly in Europe, we've seen vast increases in the cost of polymer, and particularly energy, gas and electricity. Are you experiencing similar problems in Mexico with increasing prices?
Yes, all the time. It's a worldwide problem. But a risk for roto-moulding, I may say, business equal risk. When you are involved in a business, you always have some risks and always some problems in the future or in the environment. For us, polymer prices, fuel is a part of our lives. What I believe, and I think which we should work through associations, is to work with the government, to work with the resin suppliers, to explain them that roto-molding is a good business. You know, roto-molding resins are more expensive than custom resins, like
Yeah.
a Lobo. So they may get more money with us than blow molding, example. So instead of making bags for one use that are forbidden already, they may focus on long-lasting products, and roto-molding is the ideal market for long-lasting products. So we need to convince them to help us more and to make even more different products for us, for, working for different temperatures, wider range of temperatures, and easier, faster to mold it, whatever. I think we need to work a lot with them. I see opportunity to develop new markets and applications.
Yeah. What about labor in Mexico? Obviously, in the US and throughout Europe, everybody is having real problems recruiting labor to work in the roto-molding process at the moment, and that is limiting the how fast they can expand. Is that a problem in Mexico and Latin America?
Yes, big problem, like everywhere. Also in Mexico, I think after pandemic, people learned to work at home instead of being in facing the flame or the oven. So workers prefer jobs with less intensive labor demand. Also working in an environment around such high temperatures doesn't. So they don't like that. And as soon as they find another job, they move, they change. So it's hard, and we need to find the solutions. By the way, in Versaplas, our warehouse is very, very high, a lot of ventilation, and we really avoid the heat inside of the plant. That helps a lot. Also, we are doing as much as possible automatic elevation of resins, molds, trying to make the labor easier as possible.
Okay, and do you think automation and particularly robots will play an increasing role in the roto-molding industry, particularly in Mexico?
Sorry, rephrase it.
Okay, so will automation and robots play an increasing role in our industry going forwards?
Well, if robots became cheaper, I will be the first to use them, because I believe in those. I saw them in many of the shows, and it's impressive, impressive how they work. And what I really like, they don't get tired. They don't get drunk, and they never fail on Mondays.
Yeah, and they don't go on holiday either, so which is also good. So what do you see as your number one achievement in the roto-molding industry during your career?
Well, my achievements. I am really proud of being able to open the door to roto-molding as a process. Mexico as a pioneer of it. For me, developing the water tank market, which generate a huge resin demand, so important. And Pemex, our petroleum company, national petroleum company, they decide to produce resin for roto-molding because of the amounts of consumers. And also by offering good quality products, consumers change their opinion regarding plastic products. I may say, and I have a very nice award given here in the Mexican government, that before and after, Rotoplas is like a bridge. Before, cheap product with bad image, and after Rotoplas products, people change the opinion about plastics. So if we improve the image of plastics.
Yeah, That sounds like a very good achievement for you to have managed. So, and what are your best memories of working in the roto-moulding industry, both in Mexico and worldwide? I know you have traveled widely, so you must have some good memories.
Oh, many, but the main could be like being stubborn enough not to give up on changing the national standards. As I explained, they were 4 years of hard work where we finally convinced the authorities that the plastic water tanks was the best option. Also, teamwork. Seeing the energy and dedication of all the people wanting to work together to make the business grow, promoting with pride the brand and product. It was 20 years of really happiness with me being my people involved. Really, as Jimena explained before, they are still happy with that.
Yeah.
Also, for me, is being responsible for that leadership during that specific role of the company. And the best reward today is looking at the sky. Well, better to say at the roofs of the houses and see my effort made in every water tank.
Okay, I will ask Piram to rejoin us now because I think he might have one or two questions for you. Piram?
Yes, I'll be joining. Well, very interesting discussion with Horacio. I have some lighter note questions first. You mentioned your presentation, you are stubborn, a person with stubbornness. Are you still stubborn guy or what? After 40 plus years in the roto-moulding, still stubborn?
Yes, I'm still the same way, hard to change now. I think
Nothing
it's good
changed.
for business, but ask my wife. Sometimes I
Right.
want to do something and I get it.
Very nice. And you know, you have started the Rotoplas, and you people still call you Mr. Rotoplas when you're passing around there. What's like?
Many friends from all times and also for more than 20 years in front of the company still remind me as the water tank man.
Yeah, very nice. And also when Hemina mentioned about the way you treat the people, and I think very nice to know about one worker come to see you the last 30 years and share on your birthday. That's very nice of you, and I think I can see that the respect and the loyalty for your leadership. You know, that's very nice. That's very nice. I want to ask you some general issues about how is Mexico economy now? Is it growing or politically stable, and how it is overall situation about? Yeah.
Well, trying to avoid politics.
Yes.
Well, economy is steady.
Okay.
We are not growing. We grow 0 last year. And we do not expect to grow more than 2% for the next years. So it's not enough. We need to grow at least 4 or 5% because we also have a young population asking for jobs and they need opportunities, but we don't see it now. So we are facing hard times.
And you mentioned that there are 100 plus roto-molders now in Mexico. Is it right? Around?
Yes, and hard to find them because some some companies die and they sell the machines and molds, and then a new one comes with the same equipment with new name. So sometimes we don't know if the other one died or not. You don't, and they make very few tanks in very local areas. So there are local brands, hard to find them, hard to follow them.
And
So
you mentioned
I may say that we are maybe more than 150. And I believe and I think we are more than 25 companies now with ovens instead of
Okay.
just ovens. So we
Mm.
are, people start moving forward with best
Mm.
technology.
And you guys have good cooperation among each other, even the
No,
competing same product.
only close friends. We still talk each other and we help each other. And sometimes we also lend resin or some help, yes. But many of them, curiously, they don't let me go inside of the
Wow.
shop, thinking that I may steal some some technology. But that's what I love about the the meetings, the
Mm.
spring meetings, follow meetings, the ARM and ARMO meetings, because they are really open.
Yeah.
I think I may say that most of my knowledge was because the chance of visiting plants from friends in different countries.
Mm.
We don't damage anyone because we explained before, distance is a real barrier. We
Yeah.
cannot compete. We don't want to compete with someone else living far away, but we may learn. And when you learn, you may apply and you may improve. And that's a way to be better, to be different.
Yeah, I think this all these roto-molding association societies, their meetings would be very useful. You can exchange, and get knowledge from these conferences and exhibitions. Yeah. So,
Right.
and let's look at a little bit about the digitalization. Because of the COVID, I think you see a lot of change, right? I think I never expect I'm going to meet online with Mr. Horacio online. So this is a technology change. How the digitalization implemented in your company now? Are you doing a lot of digitalization in, kind of a marketing side or selling? What's the situation? I think the traditions have changed, right, due to the COVID. Yeah.
Let me be sure that I understood. Jimena, could you help me? Spanish?
Y la digitalización, o sea, cómo nos estamos moviendo online, marketing.
Okay. Well, I think it's a different talk, a lot of work that Horacio, my son, knows much better than that. I believe it could be another interview. But
Okay.
to move, we are moving there. We are finding ways, but also in Mexico still. How can I say, the stores, people love to go to the store to buy. Not like US that they buy normally by online. We still have a lot of people walking around and trying to touch the product and buying by themselves. But sooner or later we will need to change. Yes.
Yeah. And how is the importers importing roto-molding products into Mexico? Are there imported products into like tanks coming into from outside Mexico? Are there imported products?
No containers, because container means volume. But
Right.
products that could be stackable, like planters, I saw some on the markets. Also, we also have had, and we still have a lot of toys. We don't have companies in Mexico making toys, so the market is open and they are very expensive because you need to pay for the transport, but they are beautiful. So for kids and the outdoor games are very important, and it's a good market here. They are important.
And how about the raw material supply in Mexico? Everything is imported, or you have local, some of the materials come in available in Mexico?
Well, we are facing hard times now because as I explained before, it was 100% importation, but since in the last like 8 or 10 years, Pemex began to make linear medium density for us, but Pemex is facing problems now in the last 2-3 years, and they are not making it anymore. So all of the resin are imported now, and we don't have many suppliers. And the few suppliers, they may sell you in a pellet. And from those suppliers, there are only 2 or 3 that have grinders. So to get it in powder is really hard. But it's something that I would like to advise people. We began since the beginning in early 1982 that we needed to integrate our process. We were consuming 20 tons a month or less than that. But the first thing I bought, it was a grinder because the only source of resin was in pellet. So without that, it was impossible to survive. So when you have your grinder and you can make your own molds, or you can push for a mold supplier to grow, to make it bigger, better. Because sometimes when you say if we help each other, most of them, nobody tell you who is the mold supplier, where is it? And we need to know everyone, because if this company will have more business, they will improve, they will grow, and we will have better and faster products. So we need to change our minds to help each other, and mainly in our own country.
That could be very challenging, I guess. Yeah. And one last issue, one question before we go to the last session is that what are your future plans for the Versaplas? What else you plan to do more in the near future? New products, diversified, or what's on the plate?
Well, Roto-Moulding was a great experience, but then I decided to, as I explained, I decided to stop working. Then, when my family, something very nice is that instead of having a foreigner, strange partners, it's a great opportunity to have your family as a partnership. We enjoyed a lot working together, and it's one of the reasons to stay in the business again. You talk about stubbornness, but if we are together, we can do it. And also, when you share success, but you also share problems and disappointments with the family, it's easier to survive. I see some friends through the years, mainly in the ARM meetings. We were young 40 years ago, and everyone with a great effort, with a great energy to work for our companies. And then in the last years, I met some of them really sad, really disappointed, just planning how to sell the company because they don't have someone else to follow with the company. I mean, family.
Yeah, succession plan, proper succession plan, to take it forward. Yeah.
You need to plan for that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you talk about a family. Let's invite your family member. Your son also there. Can you come on board? I think Horacio Junior. I don't know. His also name is Horacio Lobo. Lisiaga. Hey, come on, man. Come on board, please. I'd like to say a few words about that. Come on. Can you open your camera, please? It's convenient. Yeah, super.
Sure. Can you hear me? Hi, everybody.
Yes. Great. Oh. So, Hemina, please join us as well. Okay, so I see you all on the screen. That'd be nice. Yeah, and Martin, please. Yes. Okay. And Horacio, Isiaga is the name you call you, or how, which one?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you can call me Luciaga, yeah, just to.
Yeah, Isiaga. Okay. So tell us, tell me about your dad. What you learned from senior Horacio. Okay.
Well, I have learned everything from Roto-Moulding from him. A lot of tricks, a lot of tips. The way to handle the people that work for us, like my sister already told us. I think all the values that he has given us, we have used them along the way in this new adventure in this new company. So I think that's the most important things that I have from my father.
And has ever been hard on you?
Well,
Sorry, I'm going a little bit,
it has been
because the
difficult. We have
family
been,
business.
yeah, family business has his own issues. But like my father said, it's family. It's easier to try to solve them together than when you have different partners that they are not family. It's harder. You will discuss and just separate the business. Here you have to find a way to solve it, and I think that's the good part. And also, well, yeah, we have, like he already said, he's very stubborn. I'm not that much. So that's some of the issues we have. But also, I think generation, the difference in generation about the people, how they want to work. We have different conflicts of how he did it in his times, and now how we have to do it. We have to contract consultants outside from the company. Well, we had to contract consultants just to acknowledge how this new era of labor is working. It's like you said, like digitalization and how they want to work. So that's something that we have been working on, and we still need to work on a lot.
Super, super. So still, he's your teacher, right? And a guru. Yeah.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, we still have his a lot to learn. When we have some issues, we have to ask him. He's the one that gives the courses, courses in the company about Roto-Moulding.
Yeah.
He's still the teacher for all the personnel, for all the.
Super, super. Jimena, you want to add anything about your dad?
No, just that I admire him a lot, and I guess I'm stubborn in my own way as well. He taught me to follow my dreams, and I also have a dream of my own. That's another story. But yeah, I've learned from him to believe in yourself, work hard, never give up, but also like have all your grounds covered, because a dream might not come true, and you still need to be prepared. And failure just makes you stand up again and try again.
Super. Wow, it's nice to see the family members. This is the first time they bring the family members on this episode, and it's really wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much, Junior Horacio, and also Jimena. Okay, thanks a lot for joining this session. Before we let finish this meeting, I would like to invite Mr. Horacio to give us 10 recommended the best practices for the roto-moulding industry.
Okay. Well, I think we may talk about two different ways, managerial and technical recommendations. Well, about technical, I may say, train your people. They need to understand the fundamentals of the process, what is happening inside the mold. If they don't understand, they will never make a good part. They need to figure out what's happening inside the mold, and that means a good training. Remember that Roto-Moulding is a trial and error process. So you need to develop a methodology that allows you constantly improve. If you register every change value, and value if that change improve or worsen it. I recommend also we have a lot of variables, time, temperature, spinning, rotations, but keep all of them in the same, but just move one by one. So you may see if you are improving or worsening it. Keep control of all the components of the process. Your molds, quality of molds, cleaning your molds, your oven temperature, check it, verified. Your rotations, which rotation could be better or worse for every different shape. Cooking time, cooling time is as important as cooking. So check about resin quality, resin size of the size of the resin, I mean. If it flows properly, check your pigments. The amount of pigments, you know how critical it is to exceed the percentage on the process. Check your releases, how it is working on your mold. But also you need to check the environmental temperature. What's happening inside of your company? Is the dry, the humidity is very hot. Remember that temperature changes sometimes more than 20 degrees during the day. You may start 7 or 8 degrees in the morning and you may be 35 in the middle of the day, plus the heat you can generate with your ovens. So all these environmental change change the quality of your product. But also more important is keep your people happy. Roto-Moulding requires an intense labor force. And if they are not happy, they will not work as well as you like, and you will see that on the product. And more important, you need to reward this effort. People who works hard needs to be rewarded. They will be happy with you, and you will see that in the product. Also, a good recommendation is apply the best technology. Take advantage of the supplier's experience. Sometimes we don't know what happened. What's the resin not getting a nice surface? Ask the supplier. It has to be they have a good experience for that. If not, they need to work maybe with the labs or something if they want to keep you as a customer. Get advice from experienced consultants like Martin. We invited Martin in Mexico because we recognize you know a lot, and in your courses we learn a lot for that. But also for every company, when you have problems, try to find a consultant because you will learn faster and cheaper. Because when you learn in your own, that takes time, a lot of money, and maybe the opportunities are lost. Don't let the time pass and also pass the opportunity. Well, I'm talking about managerial. I may say that you need to believe in your dreams and persist to achieve them. We normally have a lot of dreams, but we just see the easy way to find it. We just leave them. No, try to achieve them. Be selective in your projects. My experience when I explain for 8 years, just surviving, we make more than 100 molds. It means a lot of expenses, a lot of effort. Well, we learn a lot, but very expensive. So we also got the very good products like planters, but I may tell you, we don't sell almost any because we don't know the market. We don't know the channels to sell them. So you need to be selective for your products. So before to converting them in products, analyze if you have the chance to sell them. Okay, so another one could be listen deeply and in detail to your customers and collaborators. Sometimes we have a dream and we want to make something that we love, but not the customers, not the market. So we need to check if our dream could be reality and could be the same deseo, if the people really like that. So apply these learnings in your process and products. Please check it before with people, and as I explained before also, every product we made, I was the first user. First water tank was in my home, first water tank underground. I did it in my home. Like the first water tank, I went in to clean it, but you know, I couldn't go out. The man, obviously the hole was very small and I couldn't go in, and I needed a
Ladder.
a ladder to go out. So we decided to make it bigger, and that's the experience. You need to be convinced and you need to try before. If you cannot use it, well, use some few customers, be close to them, help them to assembly, to and check that if it is working properly or not. Also, another recommendation could be keep a close eye on your competitors. Yeah, you learn also from them. The one that does not differentiate remains invisible in the market. Don't copy, make it better. And you need to know what is on the market and what happened on the market and what is the experience with the customers with the competitor's product. Then improve it. You need to know and master the process deeply. Do hands-on in your shop. Work with your people. Learn on the machine. Learn. You need to get burned with the molds when you're trying to demold, and you will see how hard it is to sometimes to remove a part from the mold. Then you may understand better your people, your workers, and they will follow you easier. A very big, very important recommendation is participate in seminars and meetings. That's the best place to learn. And if you get a chance to visit companies, you will learn much more. And the last one could be develop your leadership with your example. You will get in return loyalty. That's all I can say.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Excellent suggestions and recommendations. So thank you very much, sir. So now over to you, Martin.
Okay. Thanks for a great interview, Horacio, and giving us insights both into yourself, your career, and the companies you've been involved with. And it's been great to have your son and daughter along for the ride as well. They have added something to the interview, I'm sure. Would you like to just make some final remarks to the audience before we close?
Well, I just want to thank this great opportunity. I didn't understand at the beginning when you invited me for this, and now I see how important it could be and how helpful it could be for mainly newcomers to this market, to this process. And I hope the best for everyone, and I would love that more than one will follow this beautiful process, Roto-Moulding.
Okay, so thank you very much, Horacio, for your time and for the insight you have given us into the Roto-Moulding process and your career. We hope that all our participants have learned something from today and that they can take it away and apply it to their own businesses and help them become better businesses and hopefully more profitable businesses.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much again. So that brings us to the end of this leadership interview. Our next session will be on October the 26th with Blaise Kostabir from GMI Zarak Molders in India, in Goa, India. So I look forward to welcoming you along then, and hopefully we can have another interesting conversation that will prove useful to you in your business. Thanks and goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much all.